Naka-record na ba?
Yes, sir.
So yun, so good afternoon class.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you today?
We're good, sir.
Sir.
That's good to hear. So before anything else, may I request Mr. Pincel to lead the prayer?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let's bow our heads and feel the presence of our Lord. Lord, thank you for this day that we all gather this meeting, especially for the demonstration of Sir Reymund. Guide him throughout the lesson and for us to learn. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
So, amen. So once again, good afternoon to everyone. So for the attendance, where is the class secretary? Yes, Miss Kimberly Apales. Who are the absent for today?
Sir. Sir.
Yes, Miss Kimberly Apales.
There's no
That's good to hear. So give yourself a virtual props because you deserve it because you are all completed for today's
Sir, there's no
class.
absent for today.
Okay, thank you. So there's already appearing on my screen.
Yes, sir.
Hello class. Am I audible?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So our topic for today is all about the analyzing signs, symbols, and data. But before we proceed to our next lesson, what our topic that we tackled last meeting? Anyone from the class? So who can recall our last meeting? Yes, Mr. Argil.
Sir, it's all about proper care of drafting tools.
And what have you learned from the topic?
Sir, I've learned that uh, the proper care of the tools is very important, sir. Um,
Thank you, Mr. Tira. So as we go back, our topic for today is all about the analyzing signs, symbols, and data. But before we proceed to our discussion, we will have first the virtual class reminder. So the first one is once the class discussion is started, mute your microphone in order to avoid the interruption during our class discussion. And then the second one is click the raise hand button if you want to recite or answer, or you can use chat box if you want to raise your answer or something that is related to our discussion. And the third one is prepare yourself for a random calls because after the discussion I will call randomly for the recitation. And then the lastly, report to the teacher if you suddenly experience technical problems or loss of internet connections so that I can put on actions immediately. So before we go deeper in our class discussion, we will have first the activity, and this is called the jumble relay. Have you familiar with this jumbled relay class?
no, sir.
So I think this is new for everyone. So here the instruction. In this activity, the student will guess the jumbled letter on the screen. If the jumbled letter are not yet answered, the jumbled letter will rearrange to make it easier. If the student now know the answer, just the raise hand button and tap your microphone to answer. In this activity will last into three categories. Am I clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you guys excited?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir, we are.
So once again, if you know the answer, just click the raise hand button and tap your microphone to speak up your answer. Is that clear? Okay, so we have here the first category. Are
Yes,
you ready,
sir.
class? Thank you for the response. First category.
Yes, sir.
If you know the answer, just tap the raise
Sir.
hand button. Yes, Mr. Tirao.
Sign and symbols, sir.
So let us check. Very good, you got the right answer. So we proceed to the second category. Anyone from the class?
Sir.
Yes, Mr. Danjo Fernandez.
Technical drawing.
So let us check. Very good, you got the correct answer. So we have here the last category. Anyone from the class? Yes, Mr. Tirao.
Alphabet of lines, sir.
Very good. So give Mr. Tirao and Mr. Fernandez a virtual applause, please. Please, thank you. As we go back, our topic for today is all about analyzing signs, symbols, and data in technical drawing. So before that, what have you observed from the previous activity? Anyone from the class? Yes, Miss Apales.
Sir, it's all about analyzing sign symbols and data and technical drafting, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So anyone else? Yes, Mr. Akasha. I think Mr. Joshua is countering bad internet connection. So let us proceed. So after the 60-minute class discussion, we have here the learning objectives that should accomplish. The first one is they identify the signs, symbols, and data in technical drafting. And the second one is they apply the proper uses of alphabet of lines. And lastly, value the importance of alphabet of lines in technical drawing. Let's now have defined the technical drawing. So anyone from the class who want to read?
Sir. Sir.
Yes, Mr. Princel.
Technical drawing. Technical drawing is a drawing or plan rendered to scale that is used to communicate direction and specifics to a group of people who are creating something to explain how something works or how to build something.
Thank you, Mr. Princel. So we have here the technical drawing is a drawing or plan rendered to scale that is used to communicate direction and is specific to a group of people who are creating something to explain how something works or how to build something. So meaning to say that the technical drawing has a very broad meaning, referring to any drawing that conveys the ways that something functions or how is it constructed. So we have the second one. It is a technical drawings are intended to convey one specific meaning as opposed to artistic drawings which are expressive and may be interpreted in a number of ways. So meaning to say that the most drawings are prepared during the design and construction of buildings might be considered to be the technical drawings. We have the next one is technical drawing as a language. Technical drawing is also called as a universal language. So, class, why do you think they consider the technical drawing as a universal language? Anyone from the class? Anyone? Class, are you guys with me? Yes, Mr. Akasio.
Sir, I think technical drawing is also called a universal language because with technical drawing, architects, engineers, and draftsmen can communicate to each other by using the plans.
Thank you. Very well said. Because the technical drawing is a form of, they consider the technical drawing as a universal language because it is a form of design communication based on online symbols. It recognized and understood worldwide. Hence, technical drawing is often referred to as a universal language and can be understood or readable by anyone regardless of the language they speak. They consider the technical drawing as a universal language because of the symbols, lines, and figures have a specific meaning or use. And the symbols accurately describe the shape, size, material, finish, and fabrication or assembly of a product. So let's now move on to the introduction to the alphabet of lines. Who want to read? Anyone from the class? Yes, Miss Jessica.
Introduction to alphabet of lines. Line symbols used in technical drawing are often referred to as alphabet of lines. The use of line symbol enables engineers, designers to express the features of designed products clearly and accurately. Line features vary not only by width but also by how they are graphically represented in a drawing.
You. So in the technical drawing, the alphabet of line is often referred to as the line symbols. The use of line symbols enables engineers, designers to express, or even the architecture to express the features of design products clearly and accurately. So the alphabet of lines have the line features vary not only by width, but also by how they are graphically represented in a drawing. So meaning to say that the alphabet of lines have the line significance is conveyed by the line width or thickness of the line. Every line is drawn at different thicknesses and darkness to express contrast as well as the importance. So on the other hand, the alphabet of lines have the key to successful drafting is to have a good technical knowledge of these various line characteristics to understand where and when to apply them in technical drawing. Is that clear, class? Class, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
know
sir.
it's
Sir,
oras na ng pagmemeryenda, but
Yes,
maybe
sir.
just spend time to topic. Okay, thank you. So we have here who want to read. Yes, Mr. Christian.
Introduction
The
to
first
database
one.
of lines. Each line has a definite form and line weight. The standard thick line weight is 0.6 millimeter HB lead. The standard thin line weight is 0.3 mm HB lead. The standard construction line weight is 0.5 millimeter 2H.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. So in alphabet of lines, the lines has a definite form and line width, line weight. The standard thick line weight is 0.6 millimeter. HB means hard block lead. The standard thin line weight is 0.3 millimeter hard block lead. And lastly, the standard construction line weight is 0.5 millimeter 2H lead. So these four, it shows that a single line have what do you call this one, the weight or the thickness or width that shows the importance of every drawing or a plan. So we have next one. So in alphabet, there are many types of main line, which the first one is the visible line, construction line, dimension line, hidden line, center line, extension line, cutting plane line, short and long break line, leader line, phantom line, and section line. So let us find the first one, which is the visible line. So who want to read? Anyone from the class? Yes, Miss Apales.
Visible line. Thick, dark line used to show outline of object, visible edges and surface.
So the visible line is a thick dark line used to show outline of the object, or it's a visible edges and surfaces. So meaning to say that the visible line is a thick dark line which often used to outline the exterior contour of the object that are being drawn, and it is defined the features that you can see in a particular view. So we have here the example of visible line. It is a dark and thick line. So we have the next one is the construction line. Anyone from the class who want to read? Yes, Mr. Joshua.
Construction line. Very light and thin line used to construct layout works.
Thank you. So the construction line is very light and thin. Line used to construct layout workout. So meaning to say that the construction line are commonly used for a draft or a sample layout of a drawing or a plan. So this is example of construction line. So what have if we compare from the visible line, what have you noticed? Anyone from the class? So if we compare the construction line from visible line, what have you observed? Anyone from the class? Okay, the difference from construction line. Yes, Mr. Akasio.
Sir, I think the difference between visible line and construction line is that visible line is more thicker and visible line is thicker and more obvious than construction line.
Yes, very good. Because the visible line is used for the external or the visible part of the drawing, while the construction line it is more often used for a layout. So we have the next one is dimension line. Who want to read? Anyone from the class? Yes, Mr. Tirao.
The dimension line. Thin and dark lines used to show the size span of an object with a numeric value, usually terminates with arrowheads or tick markings.
Thank you. So the dimension line is a thin and dark line used to show the size or span of an object with a numeric value. Usually terminates with arrowheads or thick markings. So meaning to say that the dimension line is used to indicate the measurement of a certain part of the drawings or the object. So here's our example of the dimension line. So we have the straight line and the arrowhead, which is used to indicate the part or the measurement of the drawing. So we have the next one is a hidden line. Anyone from the class who want to read? Yes, Mr.
Sir,
Daniel.
Hidden line. So short dash lines used to show non-visible surfaces. Usually shows as medium thickness.
So the hidden line is a short dashed lines used to show non-visible surfaces, and it is usually shows as a medium thickness. So meaning to say that the hidden line is a light, narrow, short dashed lines, and it is used to describe the edges of which are not visible to the eye of the viewer. And the hidden line rather, it is also used to indicate the hidden intersection of a planes and other hidden features of the object. So here are the example of the hidden line. So the next one, we have the center line. Anyone from the class who want to read? Yes, Mr. Christian.
Center line. Long and short dash lines usually indicate center of holes, circles, and arcs. Line is thin and dark.
Thank you. So the center line is a long and short dash lines, usually indicate center of whole circles and arcs. And the center line as our line is thin and dark. So we have here the example of center line. And the center line are thin broken lines used to indicate the axis of all symmetrical objects or features, both circles and path of motions. So the center line are more often used, especially on the holes, circles, or in the arcs of the drawing. So we have the next one. We have the extension line. Anyone from the class who want to read? Yes, Mr. Mark Benry.
Extension line. Thin and dark line used to show the starting and ending of dimension.
Thank you. So the extension line is a thin and dark line used to show the starting and the ending of the dimension. So meaning to say that the extension line are the continuous line extending from view to indicate the extent of the measurement given by the dimension lines that is located the outside of the view. So we have here the example of the extension line. So here, the example of extension line. It is used to indicate the measurement or the, what do you call this one? The drawing of, or the part of the drawing, should I say, in the drawings. And we have the next one is the cutting plane line. Who want to read? Anyone from the class? Yes, Miss Gonzalez.
Cutting plane line. Extra thick lines used to show cutaway views or view is taken. Arrow indicates the direction of view. Plane of projection where a section.
Thank you. So meaning to say that the cutting plane line is the extra thick line used to show cutaway views or view is taken. It is arrow indicates the direction of view or the plane of project where a section. So meaning to say the cutting plane line is the heavy broken line drawn across an object to show the section of view. So we have here the example of cutting plane line. So the arrowheads indicate the direction in which the section is to be seen. The sectional view is used to describe the interior construction of the object. We have the next one is a short and long break line. Anyone from the class who want to read? Yes, Mr. Raniel.
Short and long break lines. Short and long medium line used to show cutaway view of a long section.
Thank you. So we have here the example of short and long break lines. The short and long break lines is the medium line used to break an object when it's too large or to get on the drawing paper. It is the short and long break lines are commonly used with to shorten the part of the drawing or show the only minimum part of the drawing or the plan. So we have the next one is the leader line. Who want to read? Anyone from the class? Yes, Mr. Mark Vanry.
Leader line. Medium line with arrowhead to show notes or label for size or special information about a feature.
Thank you. So the leader line is a medium line with arrowhead to show notes or label for size or special information about a feature. So we have here the example. So the leader line is a broken line with an arrowhead at one end, and it is commonly used for indicating the measurement and name or part of an object. So meaning to say that the leader line is used to indicate the part or the measurement or anything that can describe a drawing. So we have the next one is the phantom line. Anyone from the class who want to read? Yes, Mr. Tirao.
Phantom line. Long line followed by two short dashes used to show alternate position of a moving part.
Thank you. So the phantom line is a long line followed by two short dashes used to show the alternate position of a moving part. So we have here the example of the phantom line. So the phantom line has three purposes in the drawing. So the first one is to show the alternate position of a moving parts. The next one is to show the relationship of parts that fit together. And lastly, to show the repeated details of the drawing. So we have the next one is the section line. Anyone from the class who want to read? Yes, Miss Apales.
Line. Medium lines drawn at 45 degrees used to show interior view of solid areas of cutting plane line.
Thank you. So the section line is a medium lines drawn at 45 degrees used to show the interior view of solid areas of a cutting plane line. So we have here the example of the section line. So the section line is usually drawn at a 45-degree angle and indicates the material that has been cut through in a sectional view. So meaning to say that the section line are often used to show the material has been cut through in the sectional view or the part of the drawing that cannot be shown by the whole part of the drawing. So we have the next one is we have here the infographics that shows the proper uses of the different types of alphabet of lines. So we have here the center thin, we have the short break line, and also the long break line. So based on the example of the short break line and the long break line, what have you noticed? Anyone from the class? Yes, Mr. Pincel? Yes, Mr. Pincel, you can open your microphone now. So again, what have you observed, Mr. Pincel? The difference between the short break line and the long break line?
Sir, hello po. Hello.
Yes. So loud and
Sir, the
clear.
difference between the short break line and long break line. Short break line is um, having a, I think that is used to freehand, and the long break is having a pattern that same with each other.
Very well said, Mr. Pincel. So we have here the short break line. It's indicate the medium line used to break an object. While the long break line, it is when the part of the drawing is too large or to get into the drawing paper. So we have here the dimension, example of proper uses of dimension, extension line. We have the section line, phantom line, stitch line, or the hidden line, visible line, and lastly, the cutting plane line. So the other thing are, I think, are the same. So let's now move on. I think that is the end of the part of the alphabet of lines. So do you have any clarification, violent reaction based on the topic that I'll discuss a while ago? Anyone from the class?
None, sir.
Thank you. So I know oras na ng pagmemorianda, but please spend a little more time dahil malapit na po tayong matapos. Thank you, class. So We have here the next our activity entitled called It's Your Time to Shine. So we have here the question. It is answerable by everyone. So from your takedown notes, what are the importance of knowing the signs, symbols, and data in technical drawing? So anyone from the class? So once again, I repeat the question. From your takedown notes, what are the importance of knowing the signs, symbols, and data in technical drawing? So anyone from the class? Yes, Mr. Mark Venry.
Sir, I think, sir, the importance of knowing the signs symbols in data in technical drawing is to make a in order to have a pattern, sir, to follow, so it makes your work um, smoothly and with accuracy, sir.
Very well said. Thank you, Mr. Venry. So how about the other hand? How about the others? Anyone from the class? Yes, Mr. Akasho.
Sir, I think it is important to know the signs, symbols, and data in technical drawing for us to understand the terminologies and terminologies in drafting or in drawings.
Thank you, Mr. Casio. Both of you are correct because the importance of knowing the design, symbols, and data in technical drawing is to know or to determine the plan of an architecture, engineering, or even the draftsman. So by use of the sign, symbols, and data, it will help us to easily understand or interpret the drawing or the plan. So thank you, Mr. Benry and Mr. Akasio. So let's proceed to our second activity, which is called My Thoughts. So in this activity, the teacher or I will present a pictures, and the student will interpret and share their thoughts about it and relate it to their daily life or living. So we have here the lucky one. So in your own opinion, why they consider the technical drawings as universal language? Anyone from the class? So anyone? Yes, Mr. Christian.
For me, sir, they consider the technical drawing as universal language because you can express your feelings through drawings or other kind of art, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Very well said. Because the drawing can be a medium or a platform to deliver a message or an information to one another. So I think that is the reason why they consider the technical drawing as a universal language. So we have here the next one. How does the alphabet of lines help you to interpret the drawing or a plan? Anyone from the class? Anyone who want to answer? So anyone from the class who want to answer the question number 2? Yes, Mr. Apales. I Miss Apales.
Sir, I think how does the alphabet lines help you to interpret the drawing or data? They are planned through analyzing symbols or signs and symbols.
Thank you. So the alphabet of lines can help us easily to interpret a drawing, as I said a while ago, and it makes the plan or the drawing easily to interpret. So we have the next one is question number 3. What are the importance of signs and symbols in our daily life or living? Anyone from the class? Anyone from the class who want to answer the question number 3? Yes, Miss Jessica?
Sir, I think signs and symbols are important because they help us interpret and also guides us in everything that we do.
Very well said, Miss Jessica. Thank you. Because the signs and symbols, if we relate this in our daily life, the signs can help us to be aware, and the symbols it help us to easily to interpret a things or an object. So thank you for that answer. So I think everyone is ready. So I already uploaded your quiz on the Teams, and that will be open exactly at 4:55 p.m. So your quiz is already uploaded. You may now take your quiz, and please open up your camera to avoid cheating. Anyone from the class? Please kindly open up your camera. Thank you. So I think you are all done. Tapos na ba kayo, class?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So thank you. So we have here for the assignment. So make a group with 3 members, and each group will draw a simple house plan or layout of an object, and they will highlighted the signs, symbols, or the alphabet of lines that are being used in the drawing. So this assignment, put it on 1/4 illustration board and to be passed on the next meeting. So is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Miss Kim, for the response. So I think that is the end of our class discussion. Thank you for listening, and you may now leave the meeting. Thank
Thank you,
you
sir.
and God bless.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Salamat, sir.